Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Planted Carly Flower. I'm Carly and I'm a plant hobbyist and enthusiast with over 250 plants in her collection. Today we're going to talk about my 5 favorite beginner-friendly Hoyas. So if you're looking to get into Hoyas but you don't want anything too finicky, these are some great ones for you, and a lot of them are very commonly found. So I tried to put a little bit of a mix, something that you might have to find online, something you might find at a Lowe's or a Home Depot, a typical nursery find. So hopefully there's something in here that you can acquire easily and it'll get you on that Hoya train, because I'm telling you, it's a great train to be on. So go ahead, sit tight, and let's get into it.
I want to be daring, baby, dance the night away. I let my hair down if I want. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time?
Okay guys, 5 beginner-friendly Hoyas. So we're gonna start with one that's actually easily found in big box stores, typically in little nurseries, and it's kind of like a 2-for-1 because it's very similar to me, but I'm talking about Hoya Crimson Princess or Queen. An excellent Hoya, super easy care, and easily sought out at almost any nursery. These plants have beautiful variegation. Who doesn't love a beautiful variegated leaf? And they trail or can climb, so they're very versatile in what they can do. And they're easy to take care of. You definitely just do the little taco test on them, squeeze the leaves, and if they bend, give it a drink. If they're still pretty rigid, you're probably okay. They don't require a lot of constant watering, and they do thrive on a little bit of neglect. So they're definitely a great option for a new plant parent. I would highly recommend it, and hopefully it'll be an easy one for you to acquire. The next plant that I recommend for beginners is the Croriana, the Hoya Croriana. Now this plant does come in many different forms, which is partially why I chose it. There's a plethora of options out there for you depending on what you like visually, but they're all still easy care Crorianas. You have Croriana Silver, Croriana Super Silver, Croriana Blackleaf, Croriana Splash. It's really, really great to have so many options. Now, a lot of these you can find very easily on Etsy. Lots of plant shops online carry them. Even some more specialty nurseries in your area might have them, but there are some harder to find varieties. Like Croriana Blackleaf is a little bit of a harder one to find, but it's not impossible. They pop up on Etsy all the time in varying price ranges and sizes, and you don't have to worry if all you can find is a little one, because these plants are prolific growers. They take well to soil, leca, and pond, and they do well in many mediums and many setups with pots and plant and substrates. So I absolutely recommend Croriana as an easy one for you to take care of. They have beautiful, like, arrow-shaped leaves. Depending on the variety that you choose, you can get something super splashy, you can get something that's just plain green, and the black leaf is a beautiful dark purple color that actually does turn very cool black color when given a whole lot of light. They are very easy maintenance. They don't require a whole lot of watering or tending to. They do, again, thrive on a little bit of neglect. And you can just definitely do the taco test with this one as well and make sure that it doesn't need a drink. Now, these plants do well, like I said, in pon or leca. Mine is in pon, and it does very well with that setup. It definitely does really well in pond in particular. I have it in a self-watering planter, and I almost never have to give this plant any kind of care other than making sure that the water is topped off in the reservoir and then fertilizing it periodically. So definitely a great one. Definitely give Hoya Croriana a chance. Another plant that's super easy to find and has lots of varieties as well is the Hoya Pupa Calyx. You have Splash, you have Pink Silver, you have Royal Hawaiian Purple, you have red buttons. There are so many Pupa Calyx out there that you can find one that appeals to your eye. They are prolific growers. They require very little maintenance, and they're really a fun one to get into. The leaves can actually get really big and beautiful, and they love some indirect light. They thrive in a little bit of a lower light situation as well. They just might not grow as fast for you. They also do very well with the standard taco test to see if the leaves bend a little bit, and you should be doing pretty good with that. I apologize if the frame is getting a little dark. I'm losing a little bit of light here. So hopefully you can still see me okay. But anyway, yeah, Hoya Pupa Calyx, lots of different varieties. It's actually very on the cheap side. You can get Pupa Calyx anywhere from $10 up to $50, just depending on the size of the plant and the rarity of the type. It is a very quick grower, so if you only can find a little small plant, please don't worry. It will grow really quickly for you in the right conditions. Give it lots of bright light, some warmth, and it does really well in regular room humidity. I have all of my Pupa Calyx in my regular room humidity of 10 to 25%, depending on if it's a good or a bad day, and they all grow very quickly and are very satisfying to have. Okay, another little bit more uncommon variety to the regular plant stores is Hoya Rebecca. This plant grows really quick. It's got beautiful, delicate leaves that can have a little bit of a splash on them, and it can be found for a fairly moderate price. This is for somebody who may want to spend a little bit more in the $40 to $60 range, but still wants something easy care and something just a little bit unique other than the typical Crimson Princess or Carnosa or what have you. So I absolutely recommend the Hoya Rebecca for this. It grows very well. It does very well in a variety of substrates. Mine has been in leca, in pond, and in soil, and done well in all of them. And it grows very quickly. It does well in regular room humidity, so it doesn't require a lot of fancy greenhouses or anything like that if you're just getting into plants. And it is a big fan of bright indirect light, so go ahead and put it a few feet from a nice eastern or southern window, or west window for that matter, or even a northern window. It'll pretty much thrive anywhere you put this plant, and it grows really quickly and is a very satisfying plant to have. It does require, in my experience, a little bit more water than the Princess or the Pupa Calyx, but not by much. You're not going to be watering this thing every day or two, I can promise you. But just keep a little bit of an eye on it, more so than the other ones, because it does like a little bit more water, but not too much. It's a very easy plant to get down. Just go ahead and stick with the taco test. I keep mine in pond with a self-watering pot with a reservoir, and it does really, really well. When I had it in soil, I was watering it basically weekly-ish. Everybody's environment's different though, so just keep an eye on your plant and get to know it, and you'll have it down in no time. They're very forgiving plants as well, so if you're a new plant parent or if you're new to Hoya, don't worry about freaking this plant out. It's very forgiving and very hardy. And the last plant on my list is Hoya Carnosa. Again, there are tons of Carnosa varieties, so I highly recommend it. And let me tell you, you can find some beautiful Carnosas with some great splash. I have a dapple gray, I have a Hoya crystal, I have a green jade. I have several Carnosa varieties that I just find absolutely amazing, and I highly recommend them for new plant parents. They grow really, really quickly. They don't require a lot of fancy humidity or greenhouses or anything like that. Mine are all in regular room humidity, and they are doing absolutely great. If you are new to Hoyas or a new plant parent in general, you don't need much more for a Hoya Carnosa than a pot, some soil, and the plant. Water it when it gets like bendy in the leaves, just like all the other ones, and it's definitely going to thrive for you. It does like some bright light. One of mine, my green jade, does get some dappled southern light in the afternoons, and it does just fine. If you are giving it direct light, even if it's dappled though, I highly recommend you to keep an eye on your plant because you don't want to burn the leaves, but it can take a little bit of light exposure, so it's a great plant to have. They can either trail or climb. They're very versatile that way, so whatever you prefer as a plant parent, it can probably do that for you. And it's just a very satisfying plant to have, and one I highly recommend for people that are new to Hoyas or even just plants in general. Okay guys, that's my list of 5 plants for 5 Hoyas for beginners. Whether you're new to plants or new to Hoyas in general, They're great plants to have. They're easy. They thrive on a little bit of neglect. They're going to be forgiving if you make mistakes, and they're going to grow for you. So definitely check them out. Also check me out on Instagram or TikTok. I love to post for you guys there. I'm very active on both. Please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down and go ahead and leave me a comment. I would love to chat with you guys, and I would love to help with growing my channel. I really appreciate all of you that made it this far. And if you made it this far, go ahead and leave me a comment down below telling me your favorite beginner plant. It doesn't have to be a Hoya. Whatever plant you recommend for newbies, we want to hear about them. Go ahead and do that for me, and I'd really appreciate it. But that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me through the video, and I hope you get to spend a lot of quality time today with your plants. Have a good day.